Welcome back, everybody. This is game 2 between Cheamo and Pix, or Cheamo and Pix. I'm joined in the booth here with Chex Human,
and we've got Malmo on tracking.
Hello, Tasho. Happy to join you in the race room and the commentary booth today. Excited about game 2 here.
Oh, yeah. So let's see how we begin.
A very fast map check for Pix. We see a pendant at Tower of Hera.
Otherwise, we just got blue crystals. Like, I kind of missed it. I looked away for 1 second and it was gone.
Well, you didn't have that much time.
No.
A whole second is Pix doesn't have that time to waste.
Cheamo running into a bit of problems with this archer here.
Yeah, Sonic is losing all of his rings. And that's I don't mean to laugh so soon at a player's misfortune, but I haven't really seen that archer take down a runner so quickly before.
He's getting his Christmas bonus for sure. Get an early Moon Pearl out of Sahasrah's closet, which is nice to see. It's not somewhere awful to begin with.
All right.
That will not be the thing that trips us up this time around. There's always something, but it's not going to be Moon Pearl.
So we are going to clip out of bounds. We are going to check the hobo. It is a sphere 1 check. In other words, we don't need any items to get this item.
Yeah,
we just need to use fake clippers.
Yeah, technically the logic just expects fake clippers, or fake clippers doesn't really require you to go out of bounds, but we do anyway because it's faster.
Right, and how about that? There is the magic hammer at the hobo. Nice find for Cheamo. Hopefully Pix goes there. It's one of those locations where runners might get it right away, just like Cheamo did, or they might put it off for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. And the hammer is especially a good find this early in the game. It is a consistent source of damage, and a pretty strong one at that. You just have to know how to use it. The hitbox is rather weird.
Yeah, it's infamously strange and difficult to master.
Yeah, it's very bad when hammering upward, unless you have spin speed armed. Because reasons.
Yeah, because we recently found as late as last year, I believe, that we can displace the hitbox of the hammer by arming spin speed.
Yeah, Cheamo heading straight to Lumberjack doesn't want to get burned again.
Like it, yes. So these runners are coming straight out of a game 1. Hopefully they do not make any randomizer mistakes or get anything confused between seeds.
Yeah, having 2 long seeds back to back, you can run into something we call seed bleed, where you do start to confuse things that you found in one seed versus another, or things that you've already done, but maybe left unchecked in the previous one. It is a very real concern.
But I think they'll be fine. We're in a tournament setting. We want to focus.
But both runners are opting to do Kakariko first, rather than going up the mountain or towards South Shore or anything like that. There's often a bit of meta play between when you want to do Kakariko just because it has a couple of side questy items in it, like the Sick Kid or the Powder Bat. But we do find a sword here. And that gives Pix a consistent source of damage. A little weaker than the hammer that Cheamo has, but certainly just as good and easier to use.
So, again, you've probably talked about this a lot, Tarso. You've commentated 2 other races today, but we are in the hybrid Major Glitches tournament, so our runners will be expected to use Major Glitches to complete the seed.
Specifically, the requirements for the Major Glitches are out of bounds on the Overworld and out of bounds on the Underworld. There are a few other things that you can do on the Overworld, like mirror ramps and YBAs, but in the Underworld, those are banned.
Yeah, and in the Underworld, we can take advantage of diagonal slopes, just like we do in the Overworld. There just aren't as many, so there are 4 places in particular in the Underworld where we can clip from one area to another, and I believe 3 of them take us from one dungeon entirely to another one.
Yeah, if you count cave as a dungeon, which I would.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, those 4 clips that you mentioned are the ones that are required in the run, but there are a couple of others, at least one other, that you can do that isn't required by logic, but can speed up certain sequences. So, we'll be on the watch out for things like that.
All right, so Pix is already in Desert Palace. A funny thing, we don't typically see an opening of Desert Palace through the use of the Book of Medora, but Pix did last seed, which is kind of fun to see. So yeah, all of the world is kind of connected. It's like Hyrule parkour. That's one way to think of overworld glitches. We can go anywhere in the world from one place to another without really needing any items, typically, to get past the usual obstacles like mitts blocks or glove blocks, hammer blocks, hookshot blocks.
Yeah, and it is actually feasible to go to pretty much anywhere in the game right from the start. Just certain techniques are not required in logic, things like doing bunny clips. But if you are so bold as to try them out, you can do them.
Oh yeah. So we find Bombo's medallion in desert. I didn't quite catch whether there were 1 or 2 items found.
I don't think we found the other one since we did find the big key and the small key here, as well as we just opened up another dungeon item.
So Pix is using dash buffering to get through a slope that will cause him to hop, and he finds flippers with it. This is Cave 45, typically blocked by the mirror. Of course, we can just hop over the slopes. We can also teleport to it using a different slope. So what's next? Maybe a Gina.
It looks like we're heading going at the same time here. Now, one thing to note is that while we can clip through slopes with the dash buffering on the overworld, the same is not true for the underworld. You require slightly different methods in order to clip in the underworld. Actually, the same ones would work on the overworld, but it's just that certain ones don't work in the underworld. And so our runners have to be aware of how to do them.
So cheamo's showing us a faster method if we can arm spin speed than jumping a ledge is a bit easier.
Yeah, it lets you get deep into a slope, but certain slopes are too thick for you to actually reach the jump triggers. Which is where you'll see dash buffering take more precedence.
Alright, it's time for a Death Mountain ascent. Pix is using a DMA here. We'll see what kind he's doing. It looks like a classic DMA, the kind that causes an upward teleport to screen wrap Link. So let's see how this goes. Uh-oh, that was a downward. So the difference between a downward and an upward is 1 pixel. I don't know why it took me so long to say that, but yeah, we go 9 pixels into the slope for a downward, 8 pixels into the slope for an upward.
Yeah, and there's basically 2 pixels along the slope for each sort of bump that you see along there, where you can get those upwards and downwards. And for certain sizes of slopes, you want to be on certain bumps.
So, yeah, the flute is a good call here. There's really no particular reason for us to use a DMA except to skip activating the flute. But now that we have the flute, it's going to make routing faster, just like it would in no major glitches runs. This is not a logical item, the flute, because we can clip into Mire whenever we want, but it is convenient and will speed up routing.
Additionally, another thing to take into consideration is if we find anything here off of the old man, by doing this in the dark room, we know that the lamp cannot be behind it, because we do still require the lamp for dark rooms, similar to the rules of Just Advanced, where you also have the fire rod for other ones where you have torches you can light.
A common question about these kinds of advanced modes is, are dark rooms required? And another one is, are bomb jumps required? And no, these kinds of things are not in logic.
The only thing that gets added to the logic are some minor glitches, like fake flippers or Dungeon Bunny Revival, and then, of course, the namesake glitches, which for Overworld glitches are your spin speed and boots clips, and then for major glitches, or I guess hybrid major glitches, are the Underworld clips.
And how about that? We have the lamp, just as we were talking about it, in Graveyard Ledge, and that was a good call for Pix to check that. It is so a common way to get to Graveyard Ledge is from Death Mountain. So we have the option of hopping down from the Death Mountain screen, and we could also get to King's Tomb with a hop as well. So Pix chose the right DMD to get that piece of progression.
Seems that Pix is opting to skip the Dan for now. It is an interesting play because there are often a lot of times where you're going to be doing your Mire Hera Swamp set of checks, and just you're going to be exiting there anyway at some point, or at least that's the thought.
Oh, and Desert is a Crystal 5, by the way.
Okay, that'll be relevant until we find the mirror.
Exactly. We don't often see a big super bomb turned in at the pyramid, but it happens. The mirror is another way to access the pyramid fairy. Alright, what is cheamo doing? We're finally getting an East Death Mountain check. He's doing a turtle rock climb in the light world. I don't know if we call it a turtle rock climb.
I think we do. It is the exact same clip.
We do a downward teleport, and then we can do a bunch of wiggles, and then travel over a land bridge that takes us to the east side of the mountain.
All right, we're getting a water walk arming out of Pix coming out of the Ice Rod Cave.
Well, also he has flippers.
Well, what's interesting is that he didn't do a straight downward jump, so he does still have it armed.
Yeah.
And there we go.
And it's armed there. There, that's right. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, nice little bit of heads-up knowledge there. I don't think I've really seen anyone utilize it like that.
Oh, he's going to use this to go to Hobo, huh? Okay, interesting route. So, and meanwhile, there's Cane of Samaria in East Death Mountain.
Now, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be getting a save and quit. Oh, we are getting a save and quit. I thought he might have gone up to the Azora area for Waterfall and Zora Ledge. Well, we do find another sword up in Paradox Cave, so swords are not going to be a problem this time.
Now, Cheamo is setting up a bomb jump. And we'll be checking Floating Island. Will be interesting to find out what's next.
Good ticket clip down to Zora. He's got the money for it and flippers.
Yeah. That would be a good idea. Alright, so what's going on in Tower of Hair? It is a pendant. We don't really need to complete it. It also might not be completable right now. So we have one item.
It looks like instead Cheamo is heading up to the, activate the portal for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this is the kind of the first route that I thought of. Just because he has the hammer, he can enter that portal. And this is a logical check here. It's slow, but it can be done.
Unfortunately, it's not going to house the moon pearl that I think he's looking for. That is hidden in Sahasrah's closet currently.
Right. And what is on the float? Oh yeah, Floating Island. It's just 20 rupees. Picks a dashing directly into a transition, point blank. It's kind of interesting decision. Meanwhile, I didn't realize that Sonic the Hedgehog's bunny form was a small Super Mario, but it makes sense.
You know, instead of being Tails or something like that, no. It's gotta be the rival.
Yeah. Well, nothing here, unfortunately. Okay. The bottom of Spiral Cave can be pretty treacherous, but Bix gets through it.
And luckily there are a couple of hearts to pick up in Paradox here. Provided we don't get tagged first.
Oh, that's right. So Cheamo has a bottle and can check Sick Kid. Just 20 rupees, however.
And it's a good time to activate the flutes. Actually, I already activated. Now we're going to use it to go elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so what is this going to be? We have a screen wrap. And we are now in the Dark World, but we are wrapped.
Yeah, I wonder what this is going to be. Are we going... Is this an early GT dip?
Heck yeah, look at this. This is some bunny clipping here. So Cheamo is using one-frame movements to do a different kind of clip into the wall, and he's going to be jumping the ledge and getting into GT this way.
And it just so happens that the way the jump algorithm works and the way the collision is set up here, we wind up hitting a jump trigger you're not normally supposed to be able to get to, and this winds up sending Link all the way down off the bottom of the mountain, through to the top, and right onto the stairs of Ganon's tower. It's very convenient. And here we see Pix doing the other DMD to the graveyard area, getting into King's Tomb.
Yeah, we can trick the game into thinking that we can pick up the heavy rock. We find the mushroom. Interesting. Unfortunately, we can't turn that in immediately because we don't have the mitts to get out of the grave.
But it's alright, we've got the flute.
Yeah, that's true. We could have fluted instead of a save and quit. So Cheamo needs to Dungeon Bunny revive if he wants to take a look at this dungeon. Like you said, it's not in logic. It's just a thing that we can do. We have Hammer and we have Samaria, but we can't full clear it really.
I mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't full clear unless the fire rod is up here, since we know where the lamp is.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cheamo didn't pick that up. Pix has the mushroom and Samaria, and is going for a fake powder. He's got this. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, it's a little tougher to get the timing right on fake powder when you don't have the no magic text pop up. Meanwhile, we see Cheamo taking advantage of a particular abuse of the cape where it doesn't drain magic as long as you're holding a wall.
Right. It looked like he was waiting for the wall master, but he got impatient, and really so was I. I felt like it should be coming faster.
Wallmaster has his own schedule.
Yeah.
So we do see a blue potion pickup by Pix. That's not just a way to heal up your hearts and magic. It is also, for some, we call it a melted flute, because we can use a YBA, or YBA with the blue potion, and that brings up the flute menu automatically on the Overworld, which works in both Light World and Dark World.
Yuzuhara came up with YBAs so long ago. So YBA stands for Yuzuhara's Bottle Adventure.
Yeah, I think he found that back in 2013. It's hard to think that that's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. All right. It looked. Did we have a red pendant Thieves Town? Was it? And a green pendant Mire?
I missed it entirely.
Yeah, Pix gave us a check of the map. I believe we had those two pendants on the left side of the world.
Pix, you can't arm super speed if you are right up against the wall. That is one thing to know. You actually cannot arm it if you are facing a wall at all. Because essentially, instead of doing a dashing action, Link tries sort of a grabbing action instead.
Yeah. So, Pix did a Death Mountain Descent, a DMD. This lets us access the main Dark World, and we do not need mitts or a combination of hammer and glove to get here. We don't need to go to Aghanim. We hardly ever go to Aghanim unless there's an item on Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that is literally the only reason anyone ever goes to kill Aga.
Yeah. And like you said, we could fake flute to get around the Dark World. And we can even use that if we didn't have the Moon Pearl, for example, and we can get Link State. But these would all be sequence breaks in this logic. It's allowed, but there's no Wild Moon Pearl search in this game mode, which is one thing that makes Hybrid Major Glitches very raceable.
So Cheamo is going to have some fun with this Ice Armos fight. Doesn't really have a great weapon for it. In fact, has probably the worst weapon for it.
I think it's fun if we have full health, but without full health, it is the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. It would actually be better to lay down a couple of Samaria blocks and let the bouncing statues run into that a few times, because that would actually be stronger than the Master Sword slashes.
Right. If we can poke, or if we spin with the Master Sword, it will give it normal damage.
That normal damage is just as good as Cane of Samaria.
That's right. That's right.
It's one of the weird consequences of this game using damage tables to figure out how to calculate damage to bosses and all that. So things are divided into different weapon class types, and it just so happens that for Armos, Master Sword slashes are terrible.
Yeah. All right, so Pix is trying the Meyer clip now, and we'll be checking the Meyer medallion and the Meyer hut. So there will be a bit of flashing of strange patterns. That is just the glitched rain. And we see Quake medallions required. So the rain did not load correctly because we don't normally approach it from the side.
Yeah, it only loads the rain graphic when you're approaching from the portal down below Meyer, or if you're exiting out of the underworld like we will be right now.
Yeah, another way to restore the rain graphics would be to map. Sometimes that's a nice thing to do if we're trying to just clip in and clip out. Okay, what is...
Yeah, cheamo is running rather low on health. This is a little scary. We are on to the last one here.
Yeah, I imagine cheamo is relaxed about this red Armos. Has no problems at all. He's just gonna hold out his sword.
Yeah, he's got a good rhythm going, so this shouldn't be any problem, yeah.
Pix, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be a good position for him to get out of here. I'm not quite sure why he's choosing this, unless there's something I don't. But no, he's
I remember
not.
there being some weird escape clip out of Meyer there so that you wouldn't have to deal with the Dark World Zora. I remember someone was looking into that a while back on a former All Dungeons tournament.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where that clip was. So I couldn't tell you if it was correct or not.
Yeah, I think it was a little higher. Pix was sort of in a lower area, I think. Alright, cheamo is going into Graveyard Cave. Now he'll have the fire source. Yeah, it's probably a bummer for him. I bet he would have done right side GT with the lamp. I don't know this for sure, but the way cheamo's going, I think he would have liked that, to have that earlier. Ooh, Pix is checking Spectacle Rock and falling down. Now, what does this mean?
I think this means a pod dip.
I think so too. So, Spectacle Rock and Pod are adjacent to one another, and that one is at the bottom of the Underworld map and the other's at the top. So we are wrapping the Underworld map, and if we do a downward teleport, very well done. All of a sudden, we are in Pod.
Now the game, even though we are in a pod room, the game does still think we're in a cave, as you can tell by the music. And interesting thing about the cave is that in order for the game to not display a key counter, the game actually gives you 255 keys. So we use one of those to open up the front door without needing to spend any of them from the actual dungeon, which does make the routing a little bit easier through Palace of Darkness here.
Right, we'll still have to watch our keys to help determine which rooms we need to go into and which we can leave alone. We have a big key in the first chest. Incidentally, if we were to open that chest while in cave state, we would lose the pod big key because the game would think that we are gaining a big key for cave.
Essentially, whenever you get a big key, it's applied to whatever dungeon the game thinks you're in. So instead of applying it to where you found it, it applies to where it thinks you are. And doing that whole Spectacle Rock to Palace of Darkness clip, the game thinks we're in a cave, so if we had gotten the big key then, we would just have a big key for a cave, which doesn't really help us.
Yeah. So, it's very important in this mode, with normal dungeon items, that we do not open any chests while we're in cave state.
I mean, technically, there are technically ways around it, but nobody really wants to do it. I mean, you learned the method to do it recently, but is it really something you want to pull out in a race?
That's right, and there's no advantage to checking this dungeon while in cave state. So, yeah, and then everything changes if we were to play Key Sanity, where the game will remember what kind of keys that we pick up. So that makes cave state a bit more fun to explore.
Depending on where you depend. It depends where you find the big key, because if you find a pod big key in pod, then it still follows the same general non-Key Sanity rules. So
yeah, that's true. You still have to be careful. All right, so yeah, now Cheamo is grabbing blue potions.
Pix does still have a blue potion. I wonder if that will be used to go to the right side of pod. I'm not entirely sure of the logic that you would use to know whether or not there are two keys on the right side or not. We know there's at least one due to the big key being in that very first chest, but I don't know of the rules for two keys.
I could have followed it, but I kind of missed the items, unfortunately. So this bomb jump is a little tricky at times. There we go. Very nice hammer jump. No problem at all.
We get the other medallion that we don't need.
Yeah, so I wonder if Pix used a hammer jump because of the lack of mirror. I don't immediately know whether that was necessary to use a hammer jump. Maybe it's about keys.
I think it was about keys because since I believe he might know the rules for the two keys on the right side and has been keeping track of that, and only had one small key left in his possession. And if he had used that to enter the dark maze normally, then he wouldn't have it for the Hemasaur boss later.
Yeah. So, right, so Cheamo still has not found Moon Pearl and is going through escape. Yeah, it's interesting. Will be interesting to see if something's here. Now Pix is in Uncle Tunnel, and I wonder if Pix will check escape as well.
Probably. I don't know if it's common for people to only check Uncle when you've already gone all the way up to the castle courtyard. But it is going to be interesting to see if any of them try to save one of the small keys and use it for the rear. To gain access to those chests in the back and see what could be back there without a glove.
Interesting thought.
And it looks like Pix is going to take that gamble.
Really? I didn't know that this was a thing that people do. But now
maybe
he's not?
Maybe? I guess not. Oh, I was so excited.
What a fake out.
Then again, we could still find the small key in Dark Cross, which would essentially render that gamble moot.
Yeah. Cheamo's going through Dark Cross and just finds a piece of heart.
So we know that there is at least a key back in those 3 chests in the graveyard. Makes it a little less valuable once we find that glove.
True. Okay, Chima's going to 6. So, are we setting up a bomb clip? Yes, we are. We're setting up an overworld bomb clip. This is kind of a funny trick. It's being used as a shortcut to get to Desert Palace.
This is one of the trickier ones.
Yeah,
it is
sure.
what we call sub-pixel dependent, which means just being on the correct pixel isn't enough. There is another value that you have to keep track of a little bit, and one way you do that is by doing a single frame diagonal upward, either left or right, before dashing over to the bomb, or you can do 1 frame up and then 1 frame down.
Alright, Chimo. I've had this occur as well, where I accidentally set a bomb while trying to perform a glitch.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Chimo is being careful not to transition upward, because it's pretty close as we take the roundabout out of bounds area to jump into desert. We also can hop over the rocks by buffering into the slope, which is kind of a neat trick as well.
Yeah, and it does actually give us access to the landmo in logic. It is potentially required that we do that clip to get to landmo here. Because as you remember from earlier on in the seed, we did find the map and compass in desert already, and there's 1 item left.
Right. What's next for Pix? Pix has Moon Pearl. We've seen a great deal of Overworld.
We have not seen Super Bunny Cave yet from Pix, and he does have the Cane of Samaria, so this could be a Turtle Rock dip after checking out Super Bunny.
Maybe.
Because of its proximity to the Dark World, Turtle Rock kind of feels like one of those dungeons that isn't the worst to double dip, especially because it is rather dense if you have the Cane of Samaria in your possession.
Yeah. Just a piece of heart on Landmo. I appreciated that fight. Chimo's using a lot of Master Sword spins in addition to Hammer. So kind of a funny combination of the same damage class. And it was, pretty solid.
Pix getting a little bit lost in getting to the Super Bunny Cave.
Oops. There we go.
Pix, you can't go this way unless you have Hookshot or a Mirror.
All right, Chimo is demonstrating something we call Kiki Yeet. It's a method to get to Kiki Skip. We kind of do a funny screen wrap, and now we are in Spectacle again. And then another bomb clip will take us back into Palace of Darkness. And so this is Chimo's first visit to Palace of Darkness, I assume.
Meanwhile, Pix decided to do a screen wrap clip to get to the back of Hookshot Cave, which is potentially required to get into this area without the gloves. You can find gloves in here. In fact, you could find both of them if you're... I mean, do I want to call it lucky?
Sure. Call it what you will. It would be pretty funny.
So the other chests do require hovering to reach if you don't have the hook shot. And Pix is going for it, at least for a little bit.
I just noticed the side duck question mark that appears when he falls.
I was about to mention that too.
Wonderful.
I mean, yes, it's mostly appropriate for a Psyduck, but honestly, that could work for so many other characters too.
Yeah. Oh, that was a cape. I didn't catch what that's what was in that cave before, but now both runners have the magic cape.
So from here, we're either going to go into Turtle Rock, which seems to be the case going to the left.
Yeah.
This would also be a good time to check Catfish, just to get that done and out of the way. Because otherwise, it can be rather annoying to get to Catfish later on.
Yeah, and going to the right side and then bonking is Pick's fastest way. Well, maybe he could have used Samaria as well, but they're pretty close in timing. Okay, how are we going to defeat this Pokey here?
With some spins.
Master Sword spins, he gets away from us a bit.
Gotta go chase it down. Now, it actually hops a bit faster as you kill off the body segments.
Yeah.
Makes it a little harder to chase down.
Alright. We get through. Pix is continuing on. Pix does not have the fire rod or ice rod, so we most likely will not be full clearing this dungeon. But like you said, nothing wrong with coming back later to wrap it up.
Worst case scenario would be something like the big key in the roller room, considering we're lacking the fire rod currently.
Yeah, so Cheamo saves and quits from the basement as well. And I believe there was a similar key saving strategy on Cheamo's side as well, using a hammer jump to get in there. Alright, Cheamo's in Hera. Are we going into Hera? Yes. Are we going into the basement? Yes. So, one thing we know about this seed is Swamp Palace is required. One thing we could do potentially is to clip from Hera to Swamp, and we would want to use a key. We have to use a key, but we could use it from Hera. We could use it from Meyer. But, so if there's no item here, Cheamo will likely reset and save Scum the key. That's my guess, anyway.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Now, while we do have the option of clipping from Hera to Swamp and using the Hera small key to do so, that is actually not logically required because of just how you wind up using your keys. If there's somehow that the Meyer medallion winds up in the Hera basement and you use that small key to use it in Swamp instead, and you didn't save any, then you'd be kind of screwed.
Yeah, and so Hera might require us to use its big key, which we're finding in the basement, and that's where Cheamo's going now. We're going to the top using that big key. So, did we find one item in Hera? I think there's one in the basement.
I'm trying to remember what it was, if we did find it. I think it was in the peg cage area.
Peg cage. Right, so All right,
Nice.
so Pix is doing a DMD, catfish DMD. He got a nice auto walk and can check catfish. Look at that bonk. It's a sword. Very nice.
Probably the next most important sword upgrade. Does give you a significant power boost, really. So, what does Pix have in store next? I guess this is finally a Zora check, but without the glove, do you know how to clip around the rock?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think Pixel just improvised. We'll see.
Nah, looks like instead we're heading down to Eastern.
If I were Cheamo, I would reset, but Cheemo's going with it. He's going to take that half magic and pendant and... No. Does not want to lock it in. He wants to flute somewhere. Yeah, so what I mentioned saves coming before. Yeah, we just don't know if Cheemo would... I'm not really sure if he wants that small key that he used before to unlock Swamp Palace. Swamp is a crystal, right? So we do need to clear that dungeon, but we didn't really need to clear Hera. So to get into Swamp Palace at this point, Cheamo, I believe, unless I missed something about escape, he could technically steal a key from escape, I believe.
He could steal a key from escape, but would need to get it from the rear and then bring it back to the front and go through the sewers. That way he could preserve the key rat key. That'd be the only way to be able to clip from Hera to Swamp without needing a detour through Mire.
Yeah.
But instead, we are heading into Saha Closet for Cheamo, which will finally grant that Moon Pearl.
That's good. Yeah, and logically, the game wants us to travel through Mire, into Hera, and then into Swamp Palace to be able to unlock Swamp Palace, typically. And so, Cheamo now will need to just to wrap up the point about Swamp, he would either need the medallion, the Quake medallion, or he would need to do that awkward escape set.
That is assuming that the small key is not in the very first chest of Swamp, which has a 1 in 10 chance of happening.
Yes. All right, so what's next for these runners?
Well, with that Moon Pearl, I bet that Cheamo is going to head right down the Dark World towards Thieves Town and Skull Woods.
And neither runner has a glove yet.
So this is really our only way from the Dark World down to those main areas.
I love seeing this DMD sync.
Another auto walk thing.
Yeah.
Although I guess that we should use the technical term of funny auto walk thing.
Funny auto walk thing, Fought.
So Pix decided to head straight down to Village of Outcasts, Cheamo taking a small detour to check out Bumper Ledge first, and heads right into Skull Woods. Without the Fire Rod, this will probably be just a relatively short back-to-front clear. Does leave open the possibility of a later on Skull Woods Turtle Rock to Skull Woods map wrap.
It sure does.
But we'll need to find the Quake Medallion first.
Powder is found in first chest opened in Skull Woods.
nice simultaneous fairy bottles here in 2 completely
Really?
different dungeons. Yeah,
Wow. And
there's
gloves.
the glove.
Very cool. So that's both items in Skull Woods, and Pix is happy with thieves and is going to leave.
All right, now we get a better look at the dungeon configuration. Something that lasts more than 1 second.
So, I haven't been. Maybe I've missed something, but I don't think. I think that's. So, have we found anything else in the Dark World? Is my question here. So far, we have the gloves. Not sure if that's the first Dark World item we found.
As far as usable things, I think so, because we found the mushroom and cane in the light world, which was used to fake powder. Otherwise, we did just find the regular powder in Skull Woods. And then, as far as unlocking anything, the third sword was on Catfish, but that's not really a logical necessity. So yeah, I think you're right that the glove is really the first item we've found in the Dark World that actually unlocks something else.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like Pix is heading into Ice Palace using the Flippers wrap.
Yeah, we got to witness Pix learn this clip live last seed, and he's going to do it again. Now he's mastered it, and we'll be heading into Ice Palace shortly. This is a funky clip that was found by both you and me, Taj.
Yeah, you started the idea and I finished it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were looking for a way to get into Ice Palace.
One that didn't require the mirror or mitts.
Yeah, and these screen wraps seemed pretty promising. So I found that we can travel a great distance by screen wrapping to the east. So, all right, now Pix he's got the first step down. He just needs to travel and bring Psyduck back onto the screen. And there we go. What's really nice about this is we don't lose Link's shadow. So we can use the same cues even though we've wrapped ourselves and have no interaction with the enemies.
Yeah, that's not always the case whenever you wind up wrapping the screen. In fact, you may have seen that a little bit with cheamo when he went for the Ganon's Tower clip earlier, and actually also Pix when he did the rear entrance to Hookshot Cave.
Right.
Okay,
All right,
now
so
Pix just has to hold down. We just gotta hold down, because if we go right, that's bad. Or at least going right now is bad. We want to get all the way down to the bottom.
We want to hit that collision at the bottom there. Maybe he's hit it.
No, I don't think he has. I think he's a little high.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens here. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, there's the hard lock, too. Oh, no, yeah. So, because Pix did not go down far enough when he hit down, the game actually sort of kicked him out upward, because he would have wound up right in the middle of a wall. And in doing that, the game also nudged him to the right, which caused the hard lock, because the game doesn't like to take transitions that aren't right at the edge of the screen.
Yeah, it's a real challenge to nail this if you're a beginner. You gotta know the steps involved down to what Link needs to be doing, and it's tough because the visual cues aren't really there. It's kind of like, memorizing his movement and watching what Link does. So it is kind of annoying that this is in logic. It's nice that we found this method, but we didn't mean for it to get into Randomizer, really.
I mean, we did at first, but then we realized our mistake, and we haven't really been able to update the logic since.
Yeah, it was kind of added on a whim. And a lot of us figured that screen wraps that move Link off screen and transition to to travel with screen scrolls shouldn't be in logic.
Yeah, we do allow screen wraps for certain clips, like the back of Hookshot Cave, like doing the Hera clip, and we even allow screen wrapped portal placements, such as using that for Pyramid Fairy. But using a transition afterwards is a little bit too far, just because of these hard lock risks that we're running into.
Mm-hmm. Right, and it was added to Overworld glitches, which is a standard of our logic family. And Overworld glitches is meant to be sort of an accessible major glitches logic. So we do want to keep it fairly accessible among all the glitches that we use. And hybrid major glitches is simply OWG with a customizer toggle, essentially, which really gives it a very interesting character. But yeah.
All right, so second try, we do get past the transition, so now Pix is safe and can enter the dungeon from here.
Very good. So
just has to find the entrance wherever it is.
Yeah.
We start to see some of it coming on screen there. So.
All right, that's cool. We know we're in the region. All right, so now Pix is an ice palace. He's got everything he needs to clear it. And excuse me. So throughout this conversation, Cheamo has cleared Thieves Town. I didn't see whether he picked up anything of note, but it was a pendant, and that's another pendant clear for Cheamo, which is quite interesting.
Well, unfortunately, he can't clear the last one until he finds the Quake Medallion.
Right.
But there's our bow and ice palace.
Oh, very cool. Sorry, I was more distracted by the fairy trying to track the prize packs of our enemies. Trying my best, but maybe I won't memorize all 7. So that's a great find for Pix. We are coming down to the final items that we need for Go mode. It's not going to be too many more. We do need both rods still.
And that ice rod can be a tricky one to find, as it can be anywhere except Trinex. All right, there's our fire rod. A fantastic location inside Ice Palace.
Amazing. A fun fact about this logic is we don't necessarily need a firepower to get through it, because we can clip from the first room, and we can search all of Ice Palace except for the freezer chest and the boss. I mean, when it's Gold Stair. And it will be Gold Stair.
Now, interestingly, that can actually be required in Logic, so if you do have, hammer and gloves and flippers, you might be expected to find either your fire rod or bombos inside Ice Palace itself. Luckily, this was not the case. We did have bombos coming in, which does give a stronger signal to the dungeon itself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little worried about Cheamo if he's not approaching this with absolute confidence. If he hasn't saved and quit, he may be at a hard lock risk as well.
It depends when the last time he saved was. It may have been before doing Thieves Town, I guess.
Oh, shoutouts! Oh, I love this bomb jump. That is the silliest bomb jump in the game. getting us past a fire bar, and that's it. I love it.
And at that, it's a slower moving fire bar because for some reason the game programmers decided that whenever you have Ice Palace as your dungeon, have fire bars moves at half speed.
Yeah.
Which makes it real fun if you enter Ice Palace from another dungeon, because then they're at full speed, and you can start to see what danger they really are.
Yeah, or if you play an early version of Door Randomizer and find this room. Okay,
Back to the double beeps on Pix side.
Yeah, we do not want to die here, but I know Pix has blue potions.
But do we want to use that here?
No, not really. Alright, Cheamo, have you done both of your wraps? We really need you to move all the way down, if you have.
Well, even if he hasn't, moving all the way down isn't really a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Probably has a guide open, making absolute sure that he's got this clip 100% correct. This is not one you want to screw up.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright, so there's that blue potion usage. That way we can use the Samaria block on the switch and not need to worry about the whole peg switch puzzle that is Ice Palace.
Yes. And now we have magic to defeat Cold Stare. Alright, now if Cheamo has moved all the way down, he's done the transition, he can just go down, he's safe. Yes, now he just needs to find the entrance.
I feel like I need one of those referee emotes. For like baseball or something.
Yes.
Alright, Cold Stare is down for Pix. It's another crystal dungeon completed. Meanwhile, we see Cheamo do the bomb jump at the front. Skipping that freeze-or.
I'm pretty sure Cheamo's familiar with all dungeons, and so this is a way that we get through this dungeon a little bit faster. In the restricted major glitches all dungeon speedrun. However, we can't skip this room if we're full clearing it, so we still have to backtrack.
Oh, I like seeing the bomb strats on Pen Gators.
There we go, the Taj Pen Gator double bomb strat.
I love
to see it. Fastest way through that room.
Actually, it's not technically the fastest, but it's certainly up there. I think Espeon did find another slightly faster method.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
So there's the fire rod for Cheamo. He's also good because he's got half magic. Should make the Cold Stare fight and all the magic usage that much better. And won't have to burn any sort of potions here.
So what are our runners looking for now? Is it just the Ice Rod at this point?
I think so. We might still need Quake depending on where the small key is in Swamp. If we are lucky and it's in the first chest, then we don't need it, but if that small key is not there, then we do.
Uses Bombos again. Not sure why he doesn't use Fire Rod, but Bombos is comfy.
Well, that is the third item out of Ice Palace, so he should be able to just head straight for the boss from here and not need to clear out anything else.
Ah.
Although Cheamo is still checking a few other locations, maybe unsure, and not tracking dungeon item contents.
Pix has tempered instead of mastered for Lambo, and also has Fire Rod, so was able to defeat Lambo with, it's just a bit quicker than cheamo did.
So next on the docket for picks is probably going to be some sort of combination of Pod and Eastern. At least that's my best guess. Could also be a GT dip. Pix has not been there yet. cheamo was there earlier. So what are we doing instead?
Oh, right. And both runners still need the hook shot.
Oh, right. We do need that for Swamp. Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that dungeon.
I was only thinking about the key usage. I wasn't even thinking about, actually going and killing Argus.
Yeah. Not only do we have to get into the dungeon, we have to complete it.
So it looks like Pix is heading up towards Skull Woods here, taking that Fire Rod and immediately taking it to the dungeon. Now this will be the first time that Pix has seen Skull Woods. cheamo did clear out some of it earlier, found both of the items earlier on in the dungeon.
Right, I don't think Pix has used the fairy in a bottle, so may be picking up a second fairy in a bottle here.
Yeah, I believe that's true. cheamo does have 2 fairies in a bottle. We haven't seen either of them be used yet.
Right. So, excuse me. So, fairies in a bottle can be a little bit annoying if you are in a position where you're death warping. Obviously, when we death warp, we don't want to have any fairies on hand. And the game may require Dungeon Bunny revival if you don't have Moon Pearl. So early fairies can be a little annoying, in my opinion. But I'm sure people are more careful than I am.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of failed death warps due to forgetting that I had a fairy in a bottle.
Oh yeah. Okay, so cheamo is now in Spike Cave. The mirror is here. Wow.
Well, now cheamo doesn't have to worry about death warps.
Exactly.
Sure, we were talking about them, and now they're no longer necessary. Or at least for cheamo.
Okay, so why not? Let's get to full magic. Very good for Pix. So Pix is dealing with the mummy key with a sword with sword beams. And fun fact about beams is they tend to hit enemies in cardinal directions only. Nice fight. Off goes down.
Meanwhile, cheamo's opted to go back into Ganon's tower, now equipped with everything needed to fully clear it.
Right. And so, yeah, cheamo may be thinking about the mirror later. It doesn't unlock any dungeons in this mode, but opens up a couple of things that he couldn't otherwise do. It's always required for Mimic Cave in logic. It may be the logical way to get into Pyramid. So I wonder if we'll be seeing either of those locations. And now we have, where's Pix going? Straight to Eastern? Yeah,
yep, straight to Eastern. Makes sense since he doesn't have the mirror, doesn't have a clean way of combining both Palace of Darkness and Eastern without it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you say clean way. I guess technically we could use Kiki to open up Pod in the Dark World, then go into Pod and either Death Warp, or maybe we'll come from Death Mountain and then leave the screen through the hedge maze, then appear in the Light World through the fake worlds, and then we're in Light World, and then we go all the way back through the Eastern screen. But I don't think anyone's going to do that.
No, especially when it's a lot simpler with the Hammer and Glove to do Eastern first, and then just go down to the portal and enter Pod that way.
There you go.
Certainly more than one way to skin an onion.
Yep.
Oh, nice spike clip there, or BMOS assisted spike clip for Cheamo in that Room of Gauntlet.
Yeah, I've never really seen that. That looked a little scary. I assume it wasn't a big deal, but it just looks like one of those things that can happen in this game that could screw you over.
Yeah, I don't think you could get knocked far enough such that you'd be stuck in the middle of the spikes, at least not from one set of knockback, but that would be rather unfortunate if it happened.
Yeah. All right, so new terrain for both runners. As Pix is going to the back of Eastern, and Cheamo will be at the top of GT soon.
As a reminder, we are on the lookout for the Quake Medallion, the Ice Rod, and the Hook Shot.
Right.
I'm not sure if we mentioned this earlier, but Ganon's Tower, even though it is technically the last dungeon of the game for most non-glitch modes, it's actually available to us, logically, as soon as we find the Moon Pearl. So Cheamo did enter a little earlier than that for his particular run, but we can find all kinds of stuff here. Yeah. Even though it does take 7 crystals to actually open the front with the cutscene, because we've been without it, we can require finding or entering Ganon's Tower. It's that normal clip.
And Hookshot is at Armas. Okay, get the crystal picks.
Those for some celebratory dash first.
So Cheamo did not defeat Moldorm, but did get the hover. Interesting choice.
I hope that's not what we need.
Yeah, I disagree with this play, but maybe it's map or compass. I don't know.
I think he's opened up every single other chest in the dungeon, and maybe there is some sort of tracker that is able to keep track of maps, compasses, and small keys.
Yeah, hopefully he used his mind to do that, but
it's a nice triple on the first phase or first cycle of Agatu.
Yeah, we're at Agatu.
That was a good setup for the
really nice
second one, but just got a little screwed by RNG.
Yeah, and Cheamo defeated this boss as fast as possible as any runner could in this seed, so really nice fight. All right, so Pix has moved on to Hera. Will be interesting to see what Pix wants to do. So it looks like he's kind of deciding he's gonna kill a Moldorm to help figure it out here.
So we are going to see some sort of Harapot here.
Aha. That's what we're doing.
But the real question is, are we going to use that small key to go into Swamp? We do know that the big key is down in the tile room, so we won't be able to open the big chest, but I don't believe the other item in Hera is there. At least, I don't quite remember. Oh, there's our ice rod in the back of the sewers there, alongside the 2 dungeon items of escape.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So we have hookshot, we have ice rod. No, wait, does Cheamo have... No, Cheamo doesn't have the hookshot yet. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm getting too ahead of myself.
He hasn't been to Eastern yet, but maybe this is a play on it right now. He's already gone through Ganon's tower. Maybe this is Turtle Rock instead.
Yeah. And I do want to mention I really like Pick's bumper skip using the cape. Nicely done. I don't see that often.
Rather than try to dash on that 2-pixel window.
Yeah.
So Cheamo does have the mirror, and is going to be doing a mirror wrap here. This does give entry to the laser bridge section of Turtle Rock. This mirror wrap is not in logic, but is a convenient way of entering Turtle Rock, and certainly a convenient way of clearing it, because now we're going back to front. As soon as we find the big key, we know we're ready for the boss, and we can mirror back to the location that is closest to it.
Cheamo has some nice laser skips. Walking down and then dashing over the bridges. Alright, so Pix is struggling a little. I wonder if he's going to try to reset the room. Yeah, he feels that there may be a problem with the bomb knockback, so he's resetting the room just to be sure.
So that problem with the bomb knockback is actually because of the drop from that top left Moldorm there.
Mm-hmm.
If you collect the drop while in midair, or if it happens to be a fairy, then your bomb knockback gets set to be a little weird, and will more often than not send you straight down.
Yeah. Oh, he's got it. So we are looking for a second item in Hera. I also don't recall whether it's in the big chest. Oh, no, he's already checked this area. I'm sorry. We are going to Swamp Palace. We are going to use our key. So this is a way to unlock Swamp Palace.
Getting rudely blocked by these Kadongos here.
So Pix is setting up a bomb clip. There's a number of ways that runners today like to perform this glitch. So this is a tricky bomb clip because it requires a finicky X coordinate, and then we have to use 2 buffers to get into the proper Y coordinate. But he got it very quickly, very nice, and he's deciding whether he wants to hit that switch. You know what? I would be walking back and forth myself oftentimes. So we are basically flooding this key, and that's okay because Pix knows how to use Diver Down, so he can get it later. And one thing about this mode is this particular room is, once it's flooded, it stays flooded.
Yeah, it's unlike the non-glitched modes in that we try to keep the glitched modes runs as close to vanilla mechanics as possible, while still allowing for a lot of randomization. So in your non-glitch modes, you're able to unflood that first room by causing a screen transition on the overworld. But in glitch modes, that is not the case. Once you flood that room, it stays flooded forever.
Yeah, and we need to take advantage of that in certain seeds, because it pulling that lever can be done after the clip without hammer, and what that means is we no longer need hammer to complete Swamp Palace.
And in fact, we can find hammer in later parts of the dungeon within logic.
Yeah, we sure can.
So Pix has to reload Swamp, but needs to flood the front first. You may have seen Malmo screaming in chat about that a little earlier. Now, the entrance to Swamp Palace is kind of weird, because it does require flooding that front area of Swamp, and that doesn't stay flooded when you cause a screen transition on the overworld. But what doesn't count as a screen transition is a save and quit. So we can flood the dam at the front here, save and quit to the mountain, enter Hera, clip Hera to Swamp, exit Swamp, and re-enter it, and the front will still be flooded.
Yeah, and Malmo is saying in chat that something could have been improved, which is we were in fake Dark World when we came out of Swamp, so Pix could have transitioned to the right, and then he would have been in Light World and could have checked the dam with just that single transition.
Yeah, the game keeps track of which world. Yeah, the game keeps track of which world you're in at all times, and when you enter a dungeon in the Light World, the game still thinks you're in the Light World, even if you exit outside of a Dark World dungeon, which is what gives rise to the whole fake worlds phenomenon that Chex was just describing there.
So, I didn't mention the Turtle Rock clear for Cheamo. He did get through Trinex with a nice Master Sword fight, employing the hammer to defeat Trinex.
And perhaps Cheamo will have... Nope, not trying to hover any Hookshot Cave today.
Yeah, the Turtle Rock clear was a little tricky without the hookshot, of course. The Torches room is a little slow without it, but that's alright. We got the crystal done. Employing the quick fish, did we get it? No, but we revealed a skull under the bush. That's alright.
But there's that third sword upgrade, and I was wondering if he was going to take this down to Palace of Darkness. There is a clip that you can do from the screen south of Catfish that puts you towards the end of the Bush Maze. But instead, I guess we're going to Skull Woods.
Did we see Zora's domain from our runners yet?
I'm pretty sure we saw it on Pic's side. I might be mistaken, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But, yeah, anyway. So, Pix is reloading Swamp Palace, and there is the water still flooded after that save and quit. So, the game thinks we're still in Hera, and we need to reload the dungeon from the entrance so that it knows we are in Swamp. So that when we get to the boss room, it gives us the prize of Swamp Palace, because we entered from Swamp Palace.
Yeah, we do need to get all 7 crystals in this mode in order to fight Ganon in the 4th phase. Without all 7, he just becomes invulnerable. Or I guess rather stays invulnerable, if you want to lore it, unless you want to lore it that way.
Alright, so Cheamo is now cleaning up Skull Woods. There is no item to be found here, but it is a crystal that he needs to do. I didn't see whether he did the map wrap. Did he do it?
No, he didn't. He went from the Kakariko area.
Oh, okay. So we didn't get to see map wraps in this seed, unfortunately. That's okay. It is a little dangerous. It's never expected. And it was not on the docket today. But we'll see it in other races, I'm sure. Alright, so we're approaching Argus for picks. He's got Tempered Sword, so it shouldn't be too much of a difficult fight. We just want to clean it up within a couple of cycles here with Hook and Slash. Alright, wow, a fast second, or 2 cycle, I believe. Argus jumped faster than I thought he would.
Meanwhile, Cheamo is starting off a pod to Eastern Chain, has that mirror to make this a bit quicker overall.
Yeah.
And actually, Pix has not been back into Palace of Darkness to finish off Helmasaur.
So, Pix still needs to find Ice Rod, is that right? Now, where did we find Ice Rod?
That was in the back of Escape.
That was in the back of Escape, yeah. Right, so, hopefully Pix finds it soon. Will be very... Well, it'll be probably his go mode if he finds it, so hopefully it won't take too much longer. I love that hammer dash. I always forget that's a thing, but a good way to refill some hearts. Not that Cheamo needs all 18 of these hearts, but it's a cool trick to see.
I think he needs them for the beams in the basement section to hit that switch a little quicker, rather than fumbling through a quick swap menu to after using the hammer.
Oh, I love fumbling through that quick swap menu in the basement, trapped by pegs. That feels good. As the turtles slowly approach. Alright, Pix is in Ganon's tower now. He can... Not sure how much he needs to do here. He is going... It looks like he wants to check right side first with the key that he found on the torch.
A little bit too high with that Mario block placement. Those buttons can be rather finicky like that. And Cheamo actually gets a very early fireball despawn right before the second phase started there. That was kind of nice to see.
So I kind of missed that. You're saying that Helma went to spit out a fireball, but then we broke the mask and it despawned?
Mm-hmm. But I think we'd only just started seeing the fireball. None of them actually shot out of the mouth first.
Okay. Right. So it's a trick for people if you're just learning the Helmosaur fight. It's good to count to 17 hits, and so you know exactly when the mask is going to break. When the mask breaks, the fireballs disappear, making the fight much less dangerous.
Oh no, and without mirror, Pix has to use the pit to death warp here.
Yeah,
now, luckily it does a full heart every time, but it's still a lot of hearts to burn through.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, Pix remembers. You know, I've done the same thing. It's always a funny thing.
Anyway, oh no.
It's kind of RNG whether you're gonna pick up that fairy after you release it, so that's unfortunate. But at least we didn't go through the death animation. And so now we can just do the death warp animation.
Now, did we have another fairy? We didn't. Okay.
Just the one.
Alright, so once Cheamo is done with Eastern, it's going to be interesting to see what he does afterward. There's obviously a bunch of places he can check to try to look for that Quake Medallion. Or, if he recognizes it, can use the Swamp Small Key to unlock a door... Or not the Swamp Small Key, the Sewer Small Key to unlock a door, then clip from Hera to Sewers to grab the Key Rat Key, and use that to unlock Swamp, because he's already been down to the basement of Hera using that small key earlier. So it's either doing the that kind of convoluted series of steps to unlock Swamp that way, or go on a hunt for the Quake Medallion.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see the escape sequence. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it before, but I've just heard it being discussed, so I know about it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't necessarily think about, especially in the moment, unless you've possibly had to do it before.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it is. I want to say, yeah. I don't know if Cheamo will be in Go mode. It's a funny thing about glitch modes. It's hard to tell sometimes when you're in Go mode, and sometimes it's sort of a knowledge problem. Problem to solve, or yeah, these seeds can get a little complicated. All right, Cheamo has his hook shot from Marmos, so we'll see what he wants to do next.
So if we see a save and quit or a flute to Link's house, then we know he's on the right path. Where is this flute gonna go?
Oh man, I love that bomb strat from Pix. I didn't see how he set that up, but obviously the D-boost sent him over the warp fairly easily.
Okay, it looks like Cheamo is gonna check the front of Swamp in hopes of finding the small key there, that 1 in 10 chance.
Yeah, it does look like that. We're going straight to Swamp here. Meanwhile, Pix is now on the climb. Scaling Ganon's tower, that is.
Running a bit low on health, doesn't have any fairies to revive, and doesn't have any blue potions, I think.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. So I'll be interested to see how careful he is here.
Really, he just has to make it to the fairy room past the cannonball bridge, but gets shot in the back by a Beamos.
Yeah, that's rough. It is quite annoying that Ganon's tower is set up this way. So Pix is going to leave. He's not going to go back right now. Might be a good call. Let's see what's next.
Maybe that was just a save and quit to get a full heal off the old man.
Yeah. Could be. Okay, Cheamo has the super bomb. Why do we have the super bomb? We have the mirror, so we could get to the pyramid fairy.
I'm guessing it's sort of on the way from swamp, so it's not the worst thing.
No, it's not a bad idea in terms of routing. That's true. Yeah. Apparently an orange orb is sold in the shop in the middle of the dark world, and we can use it to break open this wall that we know that we can glitch into, apparently. How about that?
I mean, why do you need an orange orb when you have a reality warping mirror?
Yeah. All right. So that does not hold anything of value for Cheamo. What is next?
Hammer pegs.
Yes. All right. So we can swim in this moat clipping just east of the pyramid and travel west all the way to the Hammer Pegs cave. A long swim, but that's okay. It's a beeline.
So it seems that Cheamo is on the Find the Quake plan. And we are going to see I guess a mirror here. I was wondering if we were going to see the fence clip with the hook shot. But instead, we're going to see a powder bat check. Now, Pix did do this earlier using fake powder, so we know that our Quake Medallion is not here.
Right.
And luckily, we haven't found the mitts, so the Smith chain isn't in logic yet.
Right. I feel like we've seen so much. Where is Quake? Where is Quake?
Okay, it looks like that Cheamo is heading towards Hookshot Cave. Possibly Mimic Cave as well. I don't think he... Did he check it earlier when he was going through Turtle Rock? I don't think so, because I don't think he made it over towards the big chest.
Oh,
I don't
maybe.
recall.
Yeah, so our go modes may be different for our runners. Cheamo is looking for Quake. Pix is looking for the Ice Rod. He does not have Quake, but probably won't need it, because Cheamo needs a way to get into Swamp Palace, whereas Pix has already cleared Swamp.
But we find the Quake Medallion within Hookshot Cave.
Oh, it is in Hookshot. Okay.
Yeah, so now Cheamo just needs to find a way to Mire. I mean, it's not too difficult. We do have Hammer and Glove.
Okay. For some reason, I thought we had already searched Hookshot Cave. Maybe it's because someone attempted to hover. I guess That was Pix. But
yeah, Pix attempted a hover. Cheamo did not. God, I can't speak right now.
That's okay. You've been going strong, Kaj. So yeah, it was still on Cheamo's mind to go back to Hookshot Cave, and lo and behold, there is the medallion. He's going to use this medallion to get into Misery Mire, and all he wants to find here is basically just a small key.
Yeah, luckily there's one in a pot that he can reach right away. I don't know if he's actually going to even open any chests. He could be thinking of looking for silvers for a possible speed up for the Ganon fight, but it's not really necessary.
Hicks is on Moldorm too. He gets a poke, unfortunately. So we got the enrage phase of Moldorm. Oh, we get to find out what's in the chest. It's just 3 bombs. So that was his chest that Cheamo skipped due to his immediate hover at Moldorm 2.
Takes a little low on health here at the top of the tower. We'll have to take some care with the Aga 2 fight, because we don't want to have to redo this climb yet again.
Alright, so we know these patterns were favorable for Cheamo. So we'll see how Pix does. It's a double, that's pretty good. A single. Some nice patterns there. A solid 4 cycle. And Pix really wants to clip out of here, it looks like. He's not showing that he knows exactly how to do it, but he knows that he could if he were to learn it. I know he could. So there's a slight time saver that is possible. At the end of the Aga 2 fight, we can skip the cutscene where the bat flies around the room and then leaves the screen. But it is a bit silly. There are better things to learn before the clipe out, as we like to call it.
But you do have to be careful that you don't go too far to the right as you're scrolling the bat off screen, because it is just an open transition like you'd find in Desert, and taking that transition puts you in Ice Palace, and also doesn't render Aga 2 dead, should you take it.
Right. It is very punishing. There are clips of both you and I having this mistake occur. Okay, Pix is still searching for items. He still needs that ice rod. So next up is going to be another super bomb check.
Thank you for providing those clips, Malmo.
All right, so Cheamo was able to clip from Mire to Hera, and Hera to Swamp, and now can unlock Swamp. And it is important to make sure we have a small key while we're in that that long room. I don't know what you call that room. The second room of Swamp.
You should just call it Water Dash.
Water Dash, sure. Yeah. With the pot key. If we have no key there, we really want that pot key. And then we want to take that downstairs, or wait, is it downstairs? No, upstairs. And then unlock that front door. That first door. All right. So there we go. Cheamo is re-entering Swamp. And we'll be headed straight to Argus.
Meanwhile, Pix, I believe, is going to go to Palace of Darkness to finish off that dungeon, maybe even Turtle Rock, to maybe scout out for some Ice Rod.
Oh, interesting. So Pix will be most likely checking out Hookshot Cave. The Quake Medallion will be found, but it will be of no use for Pix. Pix has already cleared Swamp. And while, we've mentioned it before, but while cheamo used up his Hera small key, Pix used it to get into Swamp and beat it much earlier in the seed. Alright, so, to get to this portal, Pix is performing a downwards teleport. We're using sort of the rule of threes here. We know that this bump will allow us to teleport downwards. We can use the second or third bump from the corner.
But you have to make sure you get the downward and not an upward or a failed teleport.
Oh yeah. Alright, it looked like we had a hook dash attempt from cheamo. We did not get a 0 cycle, but we get a 1, which is nice. And a nice fire rod kill to clean up phase 2. Very nice.
So luckily with this being the last crystal for cheamo, this is very close to the pyramid. Should make a quick dash over to Ganon.
Yeah.
So is Pix going to take that Quake Medallion immediately over to Misery Mire?
It's possible.
That'd actually be a bit unfortunate. Or... Oh, this might be Pyramid... No? I was thinking it might be Pyramid Fair because Pix does not have the mirror.
I think you're right. I'm not sure where Pix is headed, but it could be Mire. He's setting up for a Mire clip.
Yeah, so there are 2 items there versus 1 in the back of Escape. So going by pure item density, this is technically better, but it is quite a bit slower to get into Mire and check out the entire dungeon versus the back of Escape. And maybe this is one of those things where you just choose something to the last location. It just happens to be the back of Escape when you know it's only 1 item back there.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with an early back of Escape check, though. I can't remember who said this earlier, but they said, no one has ever said I should have put off checking the back of Escape. Alright, so cheamo now on the Ganon fight. He's got Silverless Tempered. A fight that's going to look very much like NMG or a vanilla fight. Doing pretty well here. Meanwhile, Pix is going to search Misery Mire. I didn't quite see which, if any, chests that cheamo picked up, so I don't know where the items are.
Well, there's the big key right at the start. This is a God Mire.
This is true. And cheamo has defeated Ganon. GG's to cheamo. Very well done.
finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 4 seconds. And unfortunately, shortly after, we got a forfeit from Pix, wondering where is that ice rod?
And we'll see if our runners come in for an interview.
We are actually joined by Cheamo. So, congratulations.
GG's, Cheamo.
Thanks. GG's.
So, I didn't catch the end. Did you have an interview after the previous race?
A little bit, yeah. A quick one.
So, that race was a 2-hour run. This one was an hour 50. How are you feeling?
Yeah, they were on the long side for sure. I think both of them probably could have been a good bit shorter, played well, but...
And so your go mode was Quake Medallion to get into Mire to open up Swamp. We were speculating whether you could have used a key from the back of Escape to unlock Escape and then allow a key steal from a key rat. Have you heard about this route, Cheamo?
That seems possible. I just barely know the hair at the sewers clip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you have to know that clip as well. So yeah, that is it's one of those theoretical solutions that I've heard about but have never witnessed. So no shade there.
We're also joined by Pix here, so congratulations on making it through the marathon back-to-back.
Yo, GG's, Cheamo.
GG's.
So, unfortunately, Pix, you missed Ice Rod and back of Escape. How were you feeling about your routing there?
I mean, my routes were kind of all over the place today, and I actually thought about it. I was so excited the whole time. I was thinking like, if I get a glove, do ice. If I get a glove, do ice. If I get a glove, do ice. And like as soon as I was picking up the rock by south of Link's house, I was like, oh, I could do back of Escape, and then it just never crossed my mind again.
Yeah, that happens to me as well.
Yeah, just no other rocks to pick up.
Yeah.
So one thing I do want to mention to you, Pix, when you're trying to arm spin speed, it doesn't work if you're facing a wall.
Oh, if you're like right up against it?
Yeah, if you're up against a wall, you cannot arm spin speed.
Yeah, what you need is the dash action, and against a wall, Link wants to grab, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, just trying to save you some time on some future spin speed shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of my like glitch stuff was kind of all over the place. I've been playing a lot of like non-glitch modes for the Mentor tourney. So I was trying to dust it off for like an hour and a half before the races today, and I feel like it was definitely kind of rusty.
Yeah, and huge respect for learning the Ice Palace swim clip in the last race. It's tough to see both of you struggle with that, but
It's a dead giveaway when you sit there on the menu, and then it's one of those. It's not that I haven't done it before, but it's been a while since the mirror one's so much faster, and I know it can go very wrong, and I hadn't saved in a while, so I was being kind of like careful.
Yeah, as well you should.
Yeah.
I think I did both of mine out of save and quits.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Just thanks to Chex and Taj for commentating the match, and the tournament organizing team. This is a really fun mode, and having this on the calendar made me play a lot more seeds of it. So I'm glad this existed.
So do you think you're going to be playing more hybrid major glitches in the future? Should any races crop up?
Yeah, I think we're talking about potentially changing the OWG weekly to do HMG.
Oh, that's neat.
So, yeah, definitely interested in continuing to do glitch modes. It's a lot of fun. I hope people enjoyed watching the fun things you can do with a pair of boots.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, was that, I guess I'm not 100% on the logic for this mode, but was that fire rod hookshot locked?
Remind me.
It was
What-
the Ice Palace Big Key chest.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not well versed on actual inside dungeon logic. I only really know just how do I access places, not how do I actually route these dungeons. So, and Ice Palace tends to be one of those that is the most complicated, just due to how all the key doors work and all that. So I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing I used to pay attention to, but pretty much stopped paying attention to hook locks and Ice Palace.
I mean, hell, I don't even know the simple rules for things like Palace of Darkness or Misery Mire.
Oh yeah, we had 2 fun HMG pods today. Like both of them, you could tell there were 2 keys on the right side, so you didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and so I figured that's how both of you routed it, and you both hammer jumped, right? So you saved and quit from the dark maze.
Yep.
That was cool to see.
One of the more entertaining moments that happened in this run, at least for me, was when cheamo was in Skullwoods, Pix was in Thieves Town, and both of you opened a chest, and both of you got a fairy in a bottle at the same time.
I actually remembered I had it this time when I was trying to death warp, and then ended up walking into it anyway.
Yeah, been
And
there.
then didn't realize until I died in Mimics 2 that I was in fake Dark World and needed to leave GT anyway.
That's not a concern in Rando, I don't think.
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw the Light World pods. I thought I was gonna. I realized after I died, I was like, wait, I think it's Aga 1 at the top. Is it not in Rando?
It would be the Aga 1 fight. I'm trying to remember if you still
Not
get
in Rando.
teleported. Oh, not in Rando? Okay.
Yeah, that's not a thing in Rando.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I left afterwards, because I thought I was
Oh, okay.
not gonna get credit for the GT clear.
I thought it was more that you wanted to get a full heal off the old man after just dying in Mimics 2, just filling up on your hearts before going in again.
No, I thought I had a fake world issue. I'm still not 100% on how I understand the pendant crystal conflicts are gone, but not so much the I just saw the pots not being right, and I was very concerned.
Wrong pots.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure we've ironed out all the details that we want to have between Aga 1 and Aga 2 kills happening. I think it's something we're still kind of working on.
I feel like it's fine. But yeah, I think there are other aspects that could be debated.
I mean, like I said earlier, we do try to keep the glitched modes closer to how it works in vanilla, but there are certain things that just don't really help if they work a certain way, such as if... I'm not entirely sure of the behavior here, but if, for instance, you did get it to the top of the tower and it was Aga 1, and you killed him and you didn't get teleported away with the bird, that wouldn't be very fun to do, and so we wouldn't really want that in Rando, but... It's just one of those things that we have to go through all the different edge cases on it.
Yeah, I just figured it was better safe than sorry. I'd go back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, any other thoughts on on this race.
That was a
Alright,
lot of
we-
fun. Good luck,
Are we-
Cheamo.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. GG's. It was good.
Yeah, really fun to watch. Thanks for racing it.
We'd also like to give a thanks to Malmo for tracking this race, as well as giving a thanks to SpeedGaming for the awesome set of restreams that they've been giving us for this tournament. It's been really nice being able to spread more knowledge about this game and this mode in general to people who aren't quite so familiar with it.
Definitely. Yeah, thanks for commentating with me, Taj. It's been quite fun.
Yes,
so-
it's been a lot of fun, Chex.
Always love talking about glitches. So we've got 2 races tomorrow. That's what it sounds like. So more hybrid major glitches tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
Hopefully we'll see you guys there.
Good night, everyone.